Hello everyone, welcome to Learn English from ABC. Today in this video, I'm gonna tell you how you can start your journey of learning English. But before I start, I want to ask you a question. And the question is very simple question. And the question is, what is English? I mean, what do you think? Is English a language or English is simply a subject? Yes, you can consider it as a language, I know, and even some of us can consider it as a subject. But in schools or in colleges, when we approach English, it's like a subject. But today's video is of spoken English, right? So we can consider it as a language. So if you want to speak in English, you have to consider it as a language, not as a subject. Okay, why is the answer so important, whether it is a language or it is a subject? It is important because if you know that English is just a language, not a subject, then you can have a good approach towards its learning. So we can consider now English is a language. So how should we learn a language? Now this question will arise in your mind, that what should be our approach to learn a language, any language, whatever the languages you are going to learn about, or might be today's class is for English. So your question should be like, how should we start learning English? So before I start, I just want to categorize the steps in 4 parts. So the basic parts of learning English I should consider. Okay, look at the board first. So it's like listening, the first one. The second one is reading. The third one is, I can say, okay, the third one I should consider it as speaking. And the fourth one is writing. So these are the 4 fundamental parts of learning English. Okay, this video might be longer, this video might be boring, but after the completion of this video, I can assure you that you will think that yes, this is worth watching. See, the first one, this one is listening, and this one reading, speaking and writing. Why these things are so much important? I will simply prove it through the video, that why these things are so much important. So listening and reading, these two process or method, I consider them as input method. Why I consider them as input methods? Because when you are listening or when you are reading something, you are actually receiving some information, some data, some knowledge. So when you are listening something or when you are reading something, you are actually putting in some information within yourself. So then again, when you are speaking or when you are writing, you are actually delivering what you know or what you have inside you. So these two processes are called output method. So if you know computer, there are some input devices and there are some output devices, right? So we know that output result, it's output. So we know that output results cannot be done without any input method. Without, if you don't put anything, I mean if you don't write anything, I mean any information, if you don't put any information in computer, so you won't get any result, right? So this speaking and writing, if you want to speak fluently, if you want to write perfect English, you have to listen something and you have to read something in English. So basically we can consider that these steps are only possible when you have gone through these two steps, right? Okay. So again, this listening and reading can be considered as passive method as well. Passive method. Why this is passive? This is passive because when you will go through these processes, I mean listening or reading, you cannot understand while I mean whether you are growing yourself or your speaking or English, learning English is really improving or not, because you cannot judge yourself right then, because listening and reading works like homeopathy medicine. You cannot understand whether they are working or not. And these two things, speaking and writing, they will work like active process, or sorry, active method. What is active method? Because when you will listen to foreign speakers or native speakers or English speakers, you will understand that it will also help you to improve your vocabulary, to improve your sentence construction, and you can also understand how they actually speak. So it will also help you for the speaking. So when you will speak, you can understand, yes, now I am improving, now my English is improving. So then you will develop your confidence. So these things are actually needed. Now in schools and in colleges, you are already taught how to read English and how to write English. Yes, if I will say that you should not focus on reading English or you should not focus on writing English, some of you will say, sir, you are not guiding us properly, because reading and writing is also important for spoken English. But today's video is only for spoken English, how you can improve your spoken English. So today I will give at least 40% stress, I mean 40% focus on listening, 40% focus on speaking, 15% focus on reading, and 5% for writing. Some of you all will think that in writing is important, sir, because it will also help us to improve our writing skill. Yes, I agree with you, but as I said, this video is for improving your spoken English. So today I will only discuss the processes of listening, the processes of speaking, not the processes of reading or writing. So if you want separate video, I will surely make a separate video for reading skill and for writing skill as well. If you want, then you have to write your need in the comment section. So this first part is over. In the second part, I will discuss the processes or the steps of listening and the steps of speaking. Okay, so as I said, you can improve your listening and you can improve your speaking through some steps. And now in this part I will discuss what should be your listening steps. So let me explain through your practical knowledge. See, there are lots of teachers, I won't like to blame them. There are lots of teachers and even your partners, or perhaps in your schools, you have got the information or the knowledges that yes, you should listen to foreign listeners, I mean native speakers, or you should listen to foreign broadcasts or the BBC News or anything. Hello, listen to me carefully. You don't know how to speak. You don't even know the foreign annotations or voice modulation or accent. How could you understand if you listen to the foreign broadcast, if you listen to the foreign speakers, I mean native speakers at first? So it will be very problematic for you in the beginning. If you are an intermediate speaker or an advanced speaker, then it's gonna help you there. But for the beginning stage, you have to listen to those speakers who are not that much of giving stress on the accent. So you have to understand how should I start my listening? So how should you start? You should start listening to Asian speakers first, whom you can understand. If you listen to them, you can understand that their way of speaking is too much understandable than the way of speaking of the native speakers, right? So if you want me to give you some suggestion, I would like to recommend some channels, English channels. One is, I will give the screenshot on the screen of my video, that this channel, the name of the channel is English Speeches. Here you will get some videos, and those videos are with subtitles. So the first thing you have to do, you have to watch those videos and listen to those speeches with subtitles. So the subtitles will help you to understand what they are actually speaking in the video. Okay, so you will get to know how they speak, you will get to know how they give the stresses, how they give the pauses, everything from there. So this will gradually help you to improve your listening skill. So then if you can understand how they are speaking, you have to just imitate their way of speaking. Okay, and when you are reading the subtitles, that will also improve your reading skill, right? And that will also help you to get some new vocabularies, the lexicon, the stock of words, right? So yes, listening plays vital role in improving your spoken English. Okay, now if you are listening to those channels or those interviews which are told by your teachers, like me or other teachers you have whom you admire, but but those contents are not that much interesting to you, then how would you feel? So my point is, first you start with your interesting vlogs or podcasts or web series or whatever you are interested in. If you are interested in cooking, then watch some food blogs. If you are interested in sports, then watch some commentaries, okay, and listen to the commentaries which are which are very interesting for you. So that will grow your interest, and when it will grow your interest, automatically you will develop some confidence. So this way of listening will definitely help you to understand their way of speaking. So gradually you can understand how you should also speak. Now, if you want me, sir, please recommend us some of the names of some important people whom you actually listen to, me. Okay, so I will take some names. One is Gaur Gopal Das. You can watch his videos, and that will be also helpful for you. You can understand how he actually speaks, and his way of speaking really inspires me a lot. One lady from Pakistan, and her name is Muniba Mazari. And yes, I also like Sundar Pichai. His speech is also, yes, you can say, sir, you have said to listen to the Asian speakers first, but Sundar Pichai is from America. Yes, he is from America, but his English is not that much difficult to understand. So you can listen to him, because the way he speaks, he actually ways with very little pause. He is so peaceful when he is speaking. So I really like his speaking, his way of delivering speeches. So you guys can watch his videos as well, or the channel I have recently mentioned, that is English Speeches. You can follow that channel and watch the videos there. Okay, so your listening skill, listening problem will be gradually over if you go through these processes. Now you're speaking. So what to speak, how to speak, whom to speak? This is a very big question, sir. Is grammar important for speaking in English? Yes, it's a very most debatable question for all the learners in English who actually start their English speaking journey. So yes, the first thing, so I would like to wrap these things. Give me a minute. Speaking, right? So I will also wipe it out. So I'm writing it here again. Speaking. If you want to speak, two things are really very important. One is vocabulary, I mean stock of words. Another thing is grammar. But if I tell you that if you want to speak English for 60%, grammar is not needed. But yes, for 100% speaking, I mean if you want to a good speaker, I mean fluent speaker, you have to know English grammar. Not all the grammars which are in English books, I mean English grammar book, those things are not important to be very fluent, but yes, some chapters are really important for speaking. So what is that 60% where grammar is not important? So first, you know some vocabulary, I can consider that, and you know some grammar, right? But you don't have confidence, and that's the biggest problem. Okay, so the first thing, you have to start with word, then phrases, then incomplete sentence, and then complete sentence. This is the flow. Okay, these are the steps which you have to follow. So word, you can communicate with word. Yes, you can communicate with words, because see, if someone is asking you, are you busy, you can say yes, busy. No grammar is needed here. Yes, busy. Okay, so start with word. And another thing, first try to understand some greetings for starting your conversation, or for closing your conversation, or to continue your conversation. Some greetings are very important. What are greetings? Greetings are like hello, hi, how are you, where are you going? These things of basic questions which are used to start a conversation. Yes, questions are not greetings, I know. So some basic questions and their answers. These things are important, right? So hi, hello, how are you, good morning. These things are important. And then some questions like how are you, where are you going, what's your name, where are you from, how are you doing, everything. These things, I think all one of us, we know all these things, because these are the general questions, and we know if someone will ask me how are you, I have to say I'm fine, thank you, and you. These are the basic replies, right? And if you can start these things with your friends and family members, or near ones or dear ones, so you will develop some of your confidence, and you can understand, yes, English is not that much difficult to speak. Yes, with strangers it will be very much difficult, but if you want to speak with your relatives or your friends, it will not be that much problematic for you. So next, if you are done with these things, you have to go for the paragraphs. Paragraphs means you have to now write complete sentences. For word, for phrases, for incomplete sentence, you don't have to read the grammar. But if you want to speak complete sentence, then you have to know grammar. So before complete sentence, I mean before this part or this paragraph part, you can just manage these things with the knowledge you already have within yourself. Like if someone will ask you, will you go with me? What will you say? Yes, I will. No, I won't. These things, I think you can at least speak. Or you can start with your basic questions asking, right, what I have recently said. Okay, so complete sentences. If you want to make complete sentence, then you can go through some basic chapters. First, that is tense, construction of sentences, kinds of sentences, and some little knowledge in grammar. I mean verbs, sorry. Okay, so if you can grab these things, I think that it will not be very much problematic for you. So I have some tips which you can follow to improve your speech in English. You can practice these things at home. The first one is observe and explain. When you know the basic chapters of grammar, that is tense, verb, kinds of sentence, everything, you just start this thing, observe and explain. What is this process? Wherever you are, you just explain or describe that place. Because see, when I am in this room, so I can at least say 10 or 15 sentences. If there are two lights, okay, this is whiteboard, I have a marker, so these things. Okay, when you are traveling, you are going to office or you are going to school or college, you can describe whatever you are surrounded with. Okay, so it will give you some scope to speak in English. So the first rule is observe and explain or describe. Explain or describe. Okay, the second point is, that is cow method. I have already mentioned this method in one of my previous videos. What is cow method? Took any random topic, okay, and try to speak on that topic for 5 minutes. For 5 minutes, just speak whatever you know about the topic. No problem. And this can be shortened, this process can be shortened, and that process can be considered as jam, that is just a minute. If you cannot prolong your session for 5 minutes or 6 minutes or 10 minutes, then start with this process. This is jam, just a minute. Okay, so you have to take one topic, any random topic, you have to speak for 1 minute on that topic, and whether there are any grammatical errors you make, there is no problem, because you are just learning, you are in the learning phase, so there is no problem. Don't try to judge yourself in the beginning, because it will reduce your confidence there. So the jam, cow method, observe and explain, these processes or these methods are really very helpful for you. Okay, so when you are done with these things, actually people used to say that if you want to speak, if you want to improve your speaking, go outside, speak with your friends and family members in English randomly, whatever you know, let them laugh at you. Sorry, I won't guide you, because you already don't have confidence. You already know that you cannot speak, and at that time, if people will laugh at you, it will reduce your confidence. It will surely let you think that I won't be able to speak in English in the near future or in the further future. So I would like to tell you to start like this when you are speaking with someone. So this process, the process I am now telling, this is actually your exposure. So now you have to try to speak with others. Okay, and the third process, this one is the fourth one is your exposure. Exposure means now you have to speak with other people. These things can be done at your home. You alone can do these things, but now the fourth one is your exposure. What is exposure? You are now trying to speak with other people outside your home. Okay, so how can you start? First thing, you should not start with your family members. You should start with strangers first, because they will not judge you. They don't know that you don't know English. They don't know that you are practicing English. So make some friends who were unknown to you first. Try to start speaking with them in English, because the friends you already have, they know that you speak in your mother tongue. If suddenly you will start speaking in English, they will mock at you. At home, you generally speak in your mother tongue, right? If suddenly you will start speaking in English, they will think that what has happened to my son or daughter, that he is now speaking in English. So that will be very much ridiculous for everyone in the family and in your friend circle as well. So don't embarrass yourself everywhere and try to practice as per your choice. Okay, I may be wrong. There are lots of teachers. Perhaps I'm the first one who is not actually forcing you to speak in front of people whenever you are making mistakes. Yes, this is being told by my teachers as well, that go outside and speak whatever you know. There might be some mistakes, there might be some grammatical error, but let them laugh at you, because if you don't make mistake, you will never learn how to speak in front of people. But I chose a different way. And the way or the methods I chose, I'm just telling you that. If you want, you can follow me. So what is the thing? The thing is, you have to go outside. You have to choose the people who really doesn't know you. Because here, you are not giving him the opportunity to judge you. Okay, so you have to practice like this. So I am a Bengali, so I will give some sentences in Bengali, right? So Kemon achen? How are you? If you will say this, they cannot understand that you are just practicing your English. If they are asking you, I'm fine, and you? I'm also fine. Bhalo achi amio. So, if you are using your mother tongue with your practicing language, that is English, so they will never judge you that yes, this guy is practicing, because it's a trick you can follow. These tricks can be followed with your friends and family members as well, because they won't understand that you are actually practicing English. Okay, so if this thing is done, now you can also practice something that is of speaking in front of mirror, but speaking in front of mirror will not allow you to understand or give the feedback. Okay, so you have to do one thing, that is take a phone, record your video. And if you can record your video, I mean put a phone in front of you and start speaking in English, then check what are the mistakes you are making. Okay, if there are any grammatical errors, go to your teachers, ask them, so what should be corrected here, and if there is everything correct, then try to improve yourself. That yes, your voice intonation, voice modulation, I mean stress, unstressed portion, there are lots of things, body language, everything, there are lots of things to improve. Okay, these are the advanced things I think. So if you are done with this thing, if you want to now be a fluent speaker, very good speaker, you want to improve yourself too much, then you can call to customer care executives, speak to them in English. You can make foreign friends, speak to them in English. And now if you want to go for public speaking, I would recommend you to join any spoken English class first, because public speaking is something different. Because when you will go in front of many people, you will get nervous, and there are some ways or techniques or tips you can call it, so that will help you how to handle or how to tackle the nervousness, and how to improve your confidence, how to grow your confidence in front of many people. When you will address a lot of people in front of you, then it will be very difficult for you to utter a single word. So I am not promoting that you should join my spoken English class. No, I am not saying that. You can join any spoken English class which are available in your locality, so you can go there. So I have taken already a lot of time from you. If you are still watching this video, it proves that you really want to speak in English, you really want to be a good speaker. So thank you for watching this video till the end. Thank you.